So, Joachim, the Q4 report is out today, and what a year it has been. But I thought we would start out by talking a little bit more about our solution areas. And we have been working quite hard recently in clarifying our 5 solution areas. So could we start about talking a little bit more about these?
Yes. I'm quite happy. I think Crunchfish has always been extremely talented, doing a lot of things, but it's been confusing, I think, to understand. Because if you are at the website and some people, they know us for what we do in digital payments or digital cash, and all of a sudden there is a news about gesture control, and that sort of dilutes the whole story, really. So now what we've done is create those 5 solution areas. So very clearly, if you're into digital cash, you can be in that area and you're not disturbed by, say, the other areas. So digital cash, there is sort of Blipit, there is food waste, there is nearby, as we're now calling it, and gestures. So it's quite distinct. And you will get the 6th area will be yours.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, we actually, I don't know if we at the time if that's also ready, it's going to be investors. So that's going to be one world as well. So if you're into our stock, then you will find everything you need there. I think that's also going to be good.
Yeah, I think it makes it quite a bit more easy for everyone who's interested in us. But another thing that I also want to talk about is that, sort of connected to these solution areas, we also pose a number of key questions, sort of relating to the fact that we are solving problems based on a human perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think we always, that has been, I think, the founder's vision was always that don't let technology put up limits. Let's solve it from the human perspective, and then technology will help in that. But many solutions today, I think, are actually solved where the technology puts constraints. It's not an enabler, it's actually what puts constraints. And I think our core area here of digital cash is a perfect example. Why on earth have we for 10 years made ourselves dependent on the net for payment?
Yeah, why is that?
Yeah, well, it never used to be that. We've been paying physically for thousands of years. We never ever were dependent on the net. It's just the last 10 years. And our claim is that this must be, a big parenthesis in human history where we made ourselves dependent on the net. I would say, why is it? Well, it came with real-time payments. When that came about, they were all designed to basically that you need to sign off a transaction with electronic IDs. All services happening in the cloud. So these services are very dependent on that you have to be connected. And then the other thing that happens on the card side, which is the other big rail here, is that they started with tokenization. The tokenization and also that holds, they managed to build it all together for efficiency, but and certainly if I compare how it was before for cards, that you came to a taxi, you had a plastic card, and he just had one of those machine where he took an imprint of your card. So, and then that was obviously not efficient, but that was completely offline. So they thought, well, now let's go online. And I think the industry have done a great job in that, but they've taken it too far, because I think they missed out that at the moment of payment, you still want to sort of have that as a local transaction, an offline transaction. And that's what we are coming with, that you do a transaction in 2 steps. You do an offline settlement. That's just how it's always been for thousands of years, except the last 10. You do an offline transaction. And then as a subsequent step, then you move money between accounts. Because the first step, the beauty with that's between you and me. I pay you, and so we can settle immediately. And then the other step, if you have received something from me, that's between you and your payment service. They help you to get money from my account into yours. But I'm gone as a customer, long gone. So why don't you want to settle it in 2 steps? And that's, I think, is the beauty, what we bring to the table. And we're coming in at such a perfect time in the market, because I don't think people saw this coming, that this is what really will change the world. That you do an offline settlement and then subsequently an online settlement. So that's sort of one question. Why on earth did we make ourselves dependent on the net? But there are other questions like, why, that maybe not be such a technological question, but why on earth are we throwing away a third of all the food we produce in the world?
Yeah, that's insane, isn't it?
It's insane. Yeah, and it's sad because people are starving. Extremely sad that we have the luxury of throwing away food. But it's I believe again that with technology we can come up with ways to seriously change that, and it's one of the United Nations' big goals. It's going to be reduce it by 50% to 2030, and I think what we have got a patent for, in order to engage the consumer base, giving them a reward for not doing what everybody does, take the product with the longest shelf life, to actually take a product which maybe has a shorter shelf life, but it gives you a reward. People will start thinking, well, maybe I should take that one if I get 30, 50% discount of it. So I think there are a lot of these sort of cool things. The proximity area of nearby. Why on earth is it so hard to connect if we are next to each other? We can connect even if we are on the other side of the world, but why can't we connect easily when we are in proximity? And that's what we are addressing in that area. So I think we pose some of these questions. I think you told me you liked the fact that we've had that, because almost like a child asking this question. Dad, why are we dependent on the net when we pay? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It's kind of those...
Yeah, and I mean, children are so smart in that way.
Yes.
Because they ask the really important questions, don't they?
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if you know this, but I just did it. I'm not sure if everybody liked that here at the company, but I found that there is this competition, the spaghetti competition, that you have 20 straws of spaghetti, you have one marshmallow that's going to be on top, you're going to build a tower here, and you have also a yard, which is I guess 90 centimeters of scotch tape and 90 centimeters of a string, and you're going to build that together, to get you the highest tower. And they have challenged, there's sort of 4 CEOs in one team, 4 sort of lawyers, 4 MBA students, and 4 preschool children. And the funny thing is that the preschool children, they win all the time. Because the way they go about it is that they don't sit around and plan and, in a way, establish hierarchy, whose solution going to do. They just play, and they just do, and they just build. And at the end, they have a reasonably high tower. Whereas many of the others, their towers tend to collapse, because they sit and plan for these 20 minutes so long. So when they put the marshmallow on top, bloop, it sort of collapses. So the preschool children tend to be it. And I sort of put that here at Crunchfish. I think not only do we sort of pose these questions, but I think we act like that as well. That we are playful, that we are sort of trying things out, and we are, I think we put out these values, that we are curious, we are creative. I don't know any people more creative than preschool children. They're fantastic. And then we are caring, just like preschool children are. These sort of people that take care of them, they make sure that they learn respect for each other, and they learn how to deal with. And I think it's fantastic. And I think in some sense, Crunchfish is a little bit that environment, the preschool environment, and I think we should pride ourselves with that.
We should, definitely. We should. I mean, it reflects. I mean, the creativity reflects in our patent portfolio, doesn't it? We have more patents than we have employees.
Yeah, much more. Yeah, exactly. I think we're now up to innovation number 40 that we filed for patent, and the hit rate has been phenomenal. We have 29 of those 40 is already granted patents, so fantastic.
It's incredible. But let's change tracks for just a few minutes. And speaking about our digital cash solution, a few weeks back we actually launched a partner strategy for our digital cash partners. How do you see sort of this ecosystem and Crunchfish sort of role within that ecosystem?
Yeah. Well, in order to reach, because we are on a mission. We want to be in every single wallet, digital wallet in the world. There's no way we will reach that ourselves, but we could achieve it. Actually, it's a stretch goal for sure. But to achieve it, we do it via working with partners. And there's two takes to this. We typically sign technical integration agreements. So if they have a technology that complements our technology, we get a better solution because our technology sort of brings out something better in this solution. We still are independent players, but our solution works better together. That's one thing. But it's also it gives us much better reach. You know, the higher up in this sort of partner ecosystem we go, the more reach they have. There are there are payment networks. They are with 10,000s of banks, which in turn sort of are facilitating, maybe 50,000 wallets in the world. So the higher you go up, the more scalability you get. We got eCurrency. They have been talking to the central banks for almost 10 years. And if you get to the central bank for something called CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency, that country will push that out, that every wallet will use that. And as you know, I think our solution with offline payments is key, because physical cash is offline, so that what's digital cash from central banks needs to be as well. So by having that partnership with eCurrency, we get to the central banks, and then all of a sudden we can get to the wallet. So without that, I think we are not achieving, without the partner strategy, the ecosystem there, I don't think we could fulfill the game. So this is absolutely key for us to have that partner strategy. And I actually liked how we've been able to now show how it all fits together, because it's, I always remember Kristina Weishammar, the payments, head of payments at Swedish Riksbanken, the Central Bank of Sweden, saying that digital payments is something we use every day, but very few people know how it works. And I can't say I really know how it works either, but at least we've been able to identify some of the key players, and we know which one to get in order to get that scalability that I'm looking for.
And continuing on the subject of digital cash, there have been a few recent very important developments for us. We have launched digital cash on cards, and most recently a global interoperability for payment services. Can you describe these a bit more?
Yeah, I think the signal we do to the market is that when we release them 1 minute after midnight.
Exactly.
And that's the secret signal that we believe this is huge. And we did it with our ground patent, our ground innovation for digital cash. That was 1 minute after midnight on the 30th of Jan last year. Yeah. And then exactly on the minute, that was kind of fun. We had to do it. We had this on cards, that now with digital cash works on cards as well. Exactly, it was 30th of Jan and we did it. And then sort of 2 weeks later, which has just been now, we had another one. We just had to do it again. Third time lucky. And this one, I think the last one is just phenomenal, because what we realized is that not only does digital cash give you that we can do offline payments, we can help with that you can be private. Things that is hard to do, I think, in an online world, but we do that. But it is the digital cash itself, the fact that we are offline, the fact that we do a settlement first in one step and then a subsequent step. It is that nature which would now allow, for the first time, that we could interconnect any payment service in the world. Because what happens is that I'll do a transaction to you. I can be using Swish, take here in Sweden, the payment service, and I can be in another country. As long as you could just verify in an offline mode that this transaction is legit, and you do it with standard technology called you have a certificate. You have a certificate that you will be able to verify that what you receive from me digitally is a legit payment. Then we are done. I'm done. I paid you in Japan, and I can walk out of the store. It could be in yen. It's okay. We have also the idea of how we could understand how much to charge to that offline wallet you have in Swedish krona on your phone. But that step is done. Then it's it's a step between you and your payment service, and that step is just a normal payment. It could be within the country. or it could be an international sort of payment. So your payment service will just have to go all the way to Sweden to find that account that's going to be charged, and that's obviously this is what the international payment rail is all about. But that's nothing new. But the cool thing is that we are connecting our offline step with just normal payments, and all of a sudden this opens up. We can connect card services from payment networks, Visa, MasterCard. We can connect that with Swish payments. We can go international. This is just an amazing, and we had just had to do it again. We filed it on a Friday, and then let's have it. And we had a party, just like we did for the digital cash on cards. So we were with champagne. It was we were very proud of that one. Yeah, and I think that will go far.
Yeah, and rightly so. I just have to ask: Cash Goes Digital, a payment pandemic. Where does the inspiration come from? How do you get all your ideas for this?
You mean the interview series?
The interview series.
Yeah, well, I actually had a rough plan. I know I told you this was sort of somewhere in December that I have an idea. Let's redo this. We had Swimmingly Easy Payments, 18 episodes, and I said, let's do it again. But I was starting to think about how it could be done, and I had identified sort of like, I think I had solid 12 sort of themes. I felt I had identified that. It has changed slightly during the course of the whole series, but it's I had 3 people from the board that I hadn't yet interviewed. I had 3 people in India I hadn't yet done. So it was sort of 3 as well. So then it became natural to sort of have 12 times 3. We're almost done. I think I've just before this call I did the interview with ACI Worldwide, the product head for Asia, Africa, Middle East. Great interview. That will be released. That will come out next week, I think. This is Food Waste Week.
Food Waste Week, exactly.
I hope to actually have finished it by Wednesday, so we can have it all in our. Not all would have been released, but I think we would have been done now. And it's been quite a fun journey to do, and it's a lot of interviews, 36 in just the matter of 2 months.
Yeah.
But I think we've I think it's a check on that.
Yeah,
we did it
exactly, and I mean they are also quite important because they sort of detail especially our digital cash solution in a quite interesting way, because we do interviews with payment experts, we do interviews with security experts. So it's really good to have these interviews, because they sort of, for anyone who's sort of really interested in a key area, or whatever key area basically, can check these interviews, can't they?
No, I think it's extremely good externally for us, but it's also internally. I think we are, as we said, we're working in 5 different areas. I think this is a way for us internally that people can know what's actually going on. And we have, even if I think 8 of the weeks are very focused on digital cash, but this week is food waste.
Exactly.
And we've had a gesture week, and we had a week with alumni where we talked actually quite a lot of the things that then became the nearby area. There was a lot of talks because they remembered, because they were here when it all started in 2015. So we've had some of the other areas as well, but digital cash, and the reason why I really wanted to do it is that I think with digital cash now, Cash Goes Digital, we had a story to tell, and this has created a lot of buzz over the whole. Basically for these months, really, to build up that excitement and also get the story out, as you say. And I think that's been mission accomplished. I'm quite happy with the whole series, really.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So if we take a sort of helicopter perspective for this last one, looking back at 2020, a really special year, and looking ahead on 2021, how do you see the year that has been and also the year that is coming?
Well, 2020 for everybody has been a very special year. You just had to do the best you could of that year. I think we had a fantastic start. We came up with this idea that we already in January, when we filed for the patent on digital cash, we knew it's going to be groundbreaking. There is a press release on that day basically saying that this is huge. So we had that vision already. We went to India the first weekend. This came out actually on a Friday. Was 1 minute after midnight. It was a Friday, and on Saturday we were off to. It was no Sunday, I think. We flew off to India. And we talked about that, offline payments, which was interesting. And we had another trip, in March. I almost got caught in India because they closed the country, no more flights for 4 months. So it was actually, I was almost stuck in India. But it was quite a strange year. I stepped in as a CEO, and I did that sort of coming back from the India trip. And I just said that this gonna just be huge. And as Joachim, the previous CEO, done a great job, but he has more to focus on the gesture side. And I said, well, it's going to be hard for you to represent the Cash Goes Digital story, so we better swap. And we did. And he's now heading up, as you know, the gesture subsidiary. And he's also my sort of right-hand man as the COO. But we also got Patrick. He started a year ago, and that was really good as well. And we made him now the CEO of Proximity, and had a great year preparing for this, working on Blippit. Blippit had a hard year because we were basically badly positioned with some of those cash registers. They were hit by COVID, and we were just sort of stuck with that. But we got food waste as well. We put Linda, who with her great background, in charge of that. I think that has all slowly started as well. And one thing that will be just announced is that Linda will also take over my role as the CEO of Blippit. So she will step into that role. This is sort of happening now, and she's been preparing for that. She's been working with Patrick all year around the Blippit sales also. So I think that's good. But the whole year has been, I think, a great prep year. The biggest thing is arguably what we've done in the area of digital cash. That we are we have all the dots in a row right now for digital cash, and it's great. I'm happy about that restructure of the website that we started with, clarifying the breadth of our solution in a nice way. So all that is good stuff. Looking ahead, I think 2021 is harvesting, I think, for digital cash. I think we're gonna get into. There's so many partners. We have already 6 partnerships, and there are. I think I have at least a handful more that is sort of coming. So it's people want to work with us. I think people have realized that what we've done is a new thing, and that's going to be great. I'm happy also what we did with Gesture. We took them back from actually pursuing sales, and they lifted up product into actually being able to do magic for consumer AR, that we can see depth with just a single 2D camera, which is just amazing, and I think that will be interesting in 2021. We're waiting a little bit for a little bit market development here, but I think what we can do in technology is fantastic. The interest Linda is getting around food waste is also great, and we are sitting with such an important, I think, pattern in that area. So all these things will play out. I think it is very exciting to be where we are right now, because the field of possibility is just wide open. I can't think of a better position to be in than we are right now, and it's exciting that it hasn't happened yet, but things will happen for sure.
That sounds perfect, and I think that's a perfect way of finishing off this interview. So thank you very much for a nice chat, and we look forward to all the exciting events during 2021.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks a lot, Ulf. Thanks.
Thank you very much.